someone who creates a world where the strongest, the most fit are the only ones that move forward just wouldn't include those elements in the world.
So you earned your Bachelor's of Science in Biology.
I did.
And your Master's of Science in Biomedical Sciences.
Correct.
And you're going to teach botany and biology in the upcoming school year.
I am.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's something you want the Oak Hill parents to know about their science teacher?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is that everything that I do in my life, everything with regards to who I am, is centered on Jesus Christ. He's kind of the heartbeat of all that I do, all that is important to me, and I'm really hoping to bring that into the classroom. So I know we'll be talking all things biology and botany throughout the school year, but my goal in being a teacher of those subjects is to help our students, help the children of the Oak Hill parents see more of who God is and the God that we serve through the avenue of science and biology and botany. And that's really the goal, my goal this year. And so we'll see what fun we get into and exactly how we do that. That's kind of what I hope to partner with parents on this year. So,
right. Definitely, as Christians, everything we do should be centered around Christianity and the Bible. So what makes biology and botany so important for Christians to learn about?
It's a good question. I really see biology, science actually, as a type of language. Biology is the study of living things, of life. And God has created a world full of life, including us. And He has woven into the fabric of all created things the language of science. And so if we are looking with eyes to see God, and we're equipped with tools to be able to read that dimension or layer, of life, of living organisms, I think that opens up a whole world, whole dimension of discovery, of curiosity, of God's character that we can kind of explore and play around in. And yeah, I think that it gives us a new avenue to appreciate who God is, more tools to take dominion over the earth that we have, to be productive students, brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, people in society. And so I think that it's hard to walk through your day-to-day life without interacting with biology, with science. And so every student, every person, every Christian should have some degree of knowledge about the life that's around them, that's in them. So,
kind of related to that, because you were talking about, seeing God's character in biology. Like as Paul tells us in Romans 1, God is showing himself plainly to us through all of creation. Are there some specific ways that you could bring to light you see that in the fields of biology and botany?
Can you rephrase that question?
How does the field of biology and botany make plain that there is a creator, that there isn't just random chance and voila?
Well, kind of talking about going back to the concept of language, I think a lot of people who do not believe in our God, some of that is willful ignorance, but I think a lot of times it's just they haven't been given the opportunity or the right tools to properly observe the world around them. And if they were given that opportunity and given that education and those tools to do so, it would be really, really hard to walk away from looking at the trees outside, the seasons, how the human body works, genetics, even food science and exercise science, and come away with the conclusion that there is no author, there is no designer, there is no scientist, behind everything that we see in our world. And I think that there are, if you take kind of the Darwinian view of evolution and the trajectory of humankind and life, it's very utilitarian. It's very, there's no space or room for creativity, for beauty, for anything superfluous, which is how I believe they would describe it. But that's just not what we see in our world. We see evidence of an artist that loves his craft, that includes things in the function and form and design of his creation because he loves to make art, because he loves to write stories, and someone who creates a world where the strongest, the most fit are the only ones that move forward, just wouldn't include those elements in their world. And I think that we take a lot of those pieces of evidence for granted, and some of them you have to dig a little bit more to see that. And so I think the role of teacher, a science teacher in this case, is to peel back some of the gunk that's accumulated over our eyes because we're just so used to seeing leaves falling, water rushing past us, snow falling from the sky, bread rising. And we need a little bit of help to peel back some of that haze, to see the beauty that's around us. And then we also need help kind of digging into the human body, for example, how it works, how all the systems function independently but also together, to create this really piece of art, machinery that just couldn't have gotten to where it is today just by chance.
Nice. I see. So you want to kind of reawaken wonder almost at these things we've gotten so used to.
Correct.
Is that something that was present in your biology education or something that you want to bring to the table?
It wasn't a part of my education, which is part of the reason why I think I feel so strongly about bringing that into my classroom. I think when you separate the content from the worldview, which was very much my educational experience growing up, you end up with a very skewed and discolored version and understanding of knowledge, of truth, God's truth. And I think that it is possible to learn the content in one sphere or stage of your life and form the worldview separately and then merge those two things together. The way I like to describe it is the content are kind of like data points, and then the worldview is the web that kind of connects everything together, relates the data points to each other in the right way, and orients everything to God. And I think that's possible, but obviously the ideal case and scenario would be to marry and marinate all of those things at the same time while you're teaching the students. And so that's definitely at the forefront as far as goals go for my classroom this year.
I see. So you're going to be teaching botany and biology, both plant branches of science. What is the difference between them? How do they relate? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Biology is kind of a broader umbrella. It's the study of living organisms. And so there are many disciplines that fall under that umbrella. And one way to look at that field of biology is by scale. So you've got ecosystems, and then you've got smaller and smaller and smaller systems all the way down to, like a microbiome, that level. But biology is a study of life. And then botany is a subcategory of that. So it would be the study of plants. Obviously, plants are living things. And so that's kind of how they relate to each other. Biology is that umbrella, and then botany is the subcategory of biology.
What's one thing you're looking forward to in teaching this coming year?
I'm really looking forward to meeting the students and getting to know them as people, as young women and young men that are being raised in the fear and admonition of the Lord, getting to know kind of their quirks and their personalities, their interests, what they like, what they dislike, their strengths, their weaknesses, and then seeing how I can enter into their life to help them along that path. And so I really like to get to know people one-on-one, and so I'm looking forward to doing that with my students this year.
I guess one more question for you.
Sure.
What is one thing you want your students to come into your classroom already knowing, already thinking?
That's a great question. I would like the students to know that I'm on their side. I'm on their team, and I'm here to help them. And I don't necessarily have all of the answers to the questions that I hope they bring to the classroom, but I am there and I'm willing to work through the content, work through any questions they have, explore with them, be curious with them, dig into God's world with them, and walk away with deeper relationships, deeper knowledge about who God is, about the world He's created for us, and how we can use that knowledge to worship Him and bring glory to Him in whatever stage of life that we're at, whatever we're doing. So that's what I would say to the students.
All right, well, thank you so much, Gloria.
Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate it.